Welcome to the BMC and Leyland show at the British Motor Museum at Gaydon on a hot, sunny day. The display areas and car parks were full to overflowing, with some of the vehicles dating back to before World War II. First, we have a lovely 1983 Austin Ambassador HL with a 2-litre engine. The Ambassador was a facelift of the previous Austin Princess, and other than some minor body panel changes and lights externally, the biggest change was the inclusion of a hatchback. Many felt that this should have been a feature of the Princess from launch, but we were advised at the time that this was excluded because of the cost. It would have made the Princess so much more competitive in the market, alongside, for example, Ford's Montego. Black was, I felt, a colour that particularly suited the Princess, and this one looks wonderful with its black vinyl roof and Triumph stag alloy wheels. This car was rescued just before it was captured by the scrappage scheme by its current owner. The trapezoid headlamps indicate the 2200 E-Series engine being fitted, and this car is an HLS which replaced the Wolseley 6, the top of the range car at launch. The Jade car is also a 2200. The final 3 Ambassadors on the front row are all fitted with O-Series engines, 1700cc and 2 later being represented. We are now on the Allegro Club International stand, and this convertible Vandenplau intrigues me. The Vandenplau never carried the Allegro name and was known as either a Vandenplau 1500 or 1750, reflecting the size of its E-Series overhead cam engine. However, this car has an A-Series engine, probably a 1275cc version, and I would only expect to find this engine in an Austin Allegro. Do leave us a message and let us know if you know anything about this car. This is a pre-production Austin Allegro 1750 SS, belonging to the Reverend Colin Cork, previously Vicar of the Parish of Longbridge. It was extensively rebuilt to better than as new and had its first MOT afterwards on Friday the 8th of July 2005. Later that day it appeared on Cofton Park for the Austin Centenary event, which lasted until the Sunday evening. It is still a lovely car 20 years later. The Harvest Gold Austin Allegro is an 1100 model with an A-Series engine, and fairly basic. It dates back to 1975. Next to it is another, this time a range-topping golden Vandenplau, followed by my favourite, since seeing a line drawing of the body shell before it had gone into production. I think the estate back end makes the car look so much better, even if it is in russet brown. And here is another in black. The Nash Metropolitan, sometimes badged as a Hudson, was built at Longbridge with Austin running gear in the late 1950s. Initially supplied to the United States, eventually an agreement was reached to sell them in the United Kingdom through Austin dealers, but they never carried an Austin badge. As can be seen, the red convertible had been troublesome, but I did see the young lady drive it away after spending most of the day lying underneath fixing it. There was a good display of Metros, from the Austin and MG Mark I and Mark IIs, through to the Rover Metro, which was the Mark III, and the Rover 100 as the Mark IV. The first 2 red cars are Mark II Metros, whilst the second two, in white and primrose, are Mark 1s. The next two, in red and silver, are Mark 1 MG Metros, with their tuned 1275 A series engines. After the MGs, we have a Rover Metro in red and a pearlescent cherry red Advantage limited edition Mark II Metro, followed by an Amaranth 5-door Rover 100. Amaranth is a particularly rare colour. The Mark 1 with the chrome surround to its grille is another rare car, a Vanden Plas with its luxury trim. This is followed by a metallic grey 1275cc 9088 Mark II. Finally, in immaculate condition and one of my favourite Metros is Jamie Field's Mark II Vanden Plas car. This is Roger Prestwood's 1936 Austin 10 Sherborne with its stylish airline smooth back end, which was very fashionable at the time. Its 1141cc engine qualifies it for its 10 horsepower rating. As can be seen, the Sherborne has decent instrumentation. The knob on top of the horn push operates the semaphore trafficators. Next to the Sherborne is a 1934 Austin 10 Cabriolet, ideal for this weather, and a 1935 Austin 10 Litchfield. The Morris Marinas and Itals occupied a corner of the rally field. There was an interesting mix of cars on their display, with most of them having been built at Cowley, and engines and transmissions at Longbridge. That is until the Ital production was moved to Longbridge to make room for Maestro and Montego facilities to be installed at Cowley. At the back of their display, in the shade, is a very rare Crayford conversion soft top based on a 2-door coupe, and behind that, a Morris Marina pickup. This pearlescent British Racing Green Mini has come all the way from Germany for the show. The Rover Coupe Owners Club put on quite a large display of their cars based on the Rover R8 200. By the time of its launch to the public at the 1992 Paris Motor Show, the car had achieved 37 world records in 220 turbo form. I wonder if the owner with this personal registration plate works at BHX, that's Birmingham Airport. The first cars had a very plain grille, although it did look good. Later car fronts were decorated with a Rover grille. All the coupes were fitted with a bonnet which included a power bulge, this bonnet having been designed for the Rover 220 and its power unit. I have to admit that I have a soft spot for these Rover 200 coupes. I think that the designers produced a very nice car from the Rover R8 design. Having said that, the Rover 200 two-door looks good as well. As far as I'm aware, the only issue with the coupes, whose code name was Tomcat, was an issue with leaking boots. I don't know if they were ever fixed on the production line. The Rover 200 BRM was a limited edition with a powerful VVC K-Series engine, and all were painted in this distinctive colour scheme. The Landcrab Club had a good display, with Austin and Morris 1800 Mark I and Mark II represented, together with the Wolseley 1885 and 6. The Austin and Morris 2200, together with the Wolseley 6, are fitted with a 2227cc 6-cylinder E-Series engine. This is an Austin 1800S, which is basically fitted with a transverse version of the twin carburettor MGB engine. Affectionately known as the Land Lobster, the Austin 3 litre was produced based on a modified Austin 1800 body shell with an elongated front and rear, allowing a 6-cylinder C-Series engine driving the rear wheels to be installed, and with the advantage of a bigger boot. It shares its doors with the Austin 1800 and 2200, as well as with the Austin Maxi, and from Australia the Austin Kimberley and Austin Tasman. There was also an opportunity to modify the coachwork, as can be seen on the Lockheed Industries Works ambulance. This rare vehicle is a Leyland P76, made at the Leyland Australia Zetland plant in the southern suburbs of Sydney. It did not have a long production run before the Leyland Australia manufacturing was brought to a close. This car was manufactured in late 1972 and imported into the UK in 2016. It is in remarkable condition and is powered by a V8 engine, which I believe to be a Rover V8 engine bored out to 4,400cc. One of the advertising features of this executive car was that a 45-gallon drum could be loaded into the boot.
Alright, Jim. Is that in there?
Another overseas car, an Austin Apache, manufactured by Allegro in South Africa. It was styled by Michelotti on the AD016, the Austin 1100 and 1300 body shell. A relationship can be seen between this car and the Triumphs of the 1970s. It was also manufactured in Spain by Authy, but called the Austin Victoria. A nice pair of late MGTFs, although I cannot understand why the yellow car has its wimp cover up in this glorious weather. There was a nice collection of cars on the Cambridge Oxford Owners Club pitch. They encompass the pre-Farina and Farina 4 and 6-cylinder cars of all the brands: Austin, MG, Morris, Riley and Wolseley. The Austin Westminster and the Wolseley 699 and 6110 were present representing the big 3 litre Farinas, and of the 4-cylinder Farinas, all were present except for the Riley. The MG Midgets and Austin Healey Sprites were there though, and an interesting lineup there was too. The second one from the left has a one-piece forward tilting fiberglass bonnet and a rollover bar, whilst the next one to its left has a conventional front but a similar roll bar. Both have white circles for competition numbers. Next to the blue Midget there is another green car with an Arkley one-piece fiberglass bonnet. While most of the cars are MG Midgets, the pink car, not a standard colour, is a Mark II Austin Healey Sprite, the Mark I being the Frog Eye. The Mark II Sprite is almost identical to the Mark I Midget. We have seen this Austin K4 petrol tanker before at the NEC. It dates back to 1946 when it worked for National Benzol. Although changing hands, it appears that its last load was delivered in 1966. In 1991 it was rescued from a scrapyard and it took 10 years to restore to its present condition. Now we have three Austin Counties cars. Firstly, an Austin Hereford, big brother to the Austin Somerset, and a convertible showing that just the roof above the front seats can be exposed, or the whole roof folds back if required. It was manufactured in 1953. Next is a lovely Austin Devon van, based on the car of the same name. It was new in 1952. Finally, is an Austin 16, which belongs to the husband of the lady with the red Metropolitan seen earlier. This car dates back to early 1949. This is a very early Triumph Herald with a 948cc engine. It has a handle on the bonnet to assist raising it and does not have the luxury wooden dashboard or the rubber bumper covers of later 1200 models. Now we've come to the Maestro and Montego Owners Club pit. The Nightfire Red Countryman Estate is the same as the last new Montego estate I bought. I had 5 Montego estates in all, but also liked the brilliant white MG Montego and would take either or both of these cars home with me. Maestros were well represented, and although an Austineer, I would probably go for the red MG Maestro, just like my second company car. We last saw this white Montego estate at the Pride of Longbridge rally. An ex-police car, we know that it has completed well over 1 million miles. We've also seen both the Maestro and Mini police vans at Cofton Park at the Pride of Longbridge rally. And now a trio of Rileys. This first burgundy over cream Riley is thought to be a 2.5 litre RMF, an early one made in 1952. Next to it is a 1929 Riley 9, which is an open car with a soft top. Finally, we have another 2.5 litre RMB this time, dating back to 1947. Wherever there is a gathering of classic cars, there are always collections of real minis, and this gathering was no exception. Here are another 8 to go with the Mini Coopers, most of whom had deserted their stand earlier. These cars all look to have been made in the last 10 years of production, with the first 2 being cabriolets. The Coopers can be identified by stripes on the bonnet. It seems that many of the Mini Coopers had fled before the camera arrived. They must have been very shy. There was a lovely selection of SD1 Rovers on display, with a mixture of V8 and straight 6 engines. The red car, with its bonnet open, has a straight 6 engine, probably of 2.6 litres capacity. In the interests of my own health and safety, I thought I'd better let this red SD1 depart, much better than getting run over. The SD1 was designed with nice streamlined oblong headlamps, but in some markets, California I believe to be one of them, it was a requirement that headlamps were round. This did not improve the appearance much, as we will see after the Rover 600. The Rover 600 seems to be losing its clear coat. It was always said in BMW days that Longbridge had the better paint plums. And here are the export market Rover SD1 headlamps. We mentioned Farina's involvement earlier. Here is another of their Austin designs, the last of the A40s, which can possibly claim to be the first hatchback. Although the rear doors opened like an early Range Rover, the top opened upwards and the bottom lowered to make it a useful picnic table. The Austin A60 van continued in production until 1972 and was never updated to the Farina design of the saloon. This one has been converted into an ambulance.
Thank you for watching to the end. We pride ourselves on the amount of information we provide on these videos, so if you enjoyed it, please show your appreciation by liking and subscribing to the channel. Thank you, and join us again next time.